What is going on, New York Giants fans? D. Illa here. We got episode 4 on tonight. Hard Knocks of the New York Giants. I wanted to get this out there before that clip. I wanted to get this out there before that episode actually airs because, I've been thinking about it all week. I actually said something authentic about this. It has to do with that clip at the very end of episode 3 when Joe Schoen asked Brian Daboll if he would be willing to trade up for Jayden Daniels. And Brian Daboll then says yes. I believe how that clip plays out is, I think Joe Schoen is going to ask him, or he's going to express to him that, if Washington completely flips the script and takes Drake May, are you still willing to trade up for Jayden Daniels? Daboll then in turn says yes. That's how I think that whole entire clip plays out, because we all know, based on reports, that Drake May was the guy that they were looking at all along, the guy that they were trying to trade up with the New England Patriots for at 3. So I think they were just saying that, if Washington takes him, are you still willing to trade up for Daniels? Which obviously Daboll must have thought that he was still a viable option. I think those are the only 2 quarterbacks that this team was honestly, truthfully interested in at the time. The rest of the guys, Penix, McCarthy, I don't think they had them graded quite as high as those other 2. And I'm sure they had Caleb Williams, graded high also, but obviously they knew that they weren't going to be able to get him. And all the talk about Saquon Barkley, I've never been really that upset about Barkley leaving. Like, I understand why the Giants did it. I already made this video like 2 months ago talking about the Giants' thought process and why they decided to sign Jones, and why I don't necessarily blame them for doing that. Because, and you guys know, like, I'm a guy that has been very outspoken about Daniel Jones, especially this past year after they gave him that deal. But I agreed with them giving him the deal from the start. Because, the progress that Daniel Jones showed in 22, again, I'm not the biggest Daniel Jones guy in the world, but I do believe he showed progress that year. His pocket presence got better. He was accurate with his passes. He did a lot of things that he didn't do in previous years. And like I said in the video that I already made like a couple months ago at this point, when you have a quarterback that was drafted by this franchise and you start to see progress, you cannot afford to let that man go. You can't just let him walk out the door. You can't let him do it. He is the most important piece on this offense. And Daboll and Schoen thought they saw enough out of him to give him the deal, and they prayed to God that he would continue to make progress. And last year, it definitely seemed like that progress was stunted. But you all have to understand out there, man, when you have the quarterback on your team, you are set. You no longer have to devote any other resources to that position. And that puts you right in the driver's seat when it comes to building your football team. And that's the chance that they took. That's just the way it is. They chose Daniel Jones over Saquon Barkley. I don't blame them for doing that. Like, Saquon is a 26, 27-year-old running back. I mean, honest to God, what do you all think Saquon Barkley, what do you think this team is going to accomplish? Like, if Saquon Barkley was still on this team, what do you think this team would have accomplished with him on this roster, along with Daniel Jones, over the next 2 to 3 seasons? Do you think they're a perennial playoff team or a Super Bowl contender? I don't believe that. I don't believe that at all. So what are you going to keep him around for? Why? What is the point? If you sign him to a contract, it also affects your cap down the road. What happens with contracts with players, especially a big-time player like Saquon Barkley? As their contracts go from year to year, what happens to that number that they're getting paid? It increases. The first year, it's manageable. Year 2, it goes up. Year 3, it can potentially be astronomical. So why would you even put that number on the books when it comes to your cap? Why would you do that? Just sign Devin Singletary. You know what his number is for the next 2 years. It's $5.5–6 million. It's not going to jump up to 10, 12, 15. I forgot exactly what Saquon's getting paid. Nothing like that. And again, if you chose to pay Barkley that kind of money, I still don't believe this team is really doing anything with him out there on the field. Not over the next 2 to 3 seasons. And that's arguably all Saquon has left. I just don't understand what people don't get about this. I really don't. I think they made the right decision. They took a chance. It's probably not going to work out, but they rolled the dice, and that's what they did. It's plain and simple, man. I don't know why people continue to come out here and just, talk about this over and over and over again and just beat this drum until there ain't nothing left of the canvas to even beat anymore. I don't know. Don't make no sense to me.